Hello everyone, and welcome to my PowerPoint presentation. This PowerPoint presentation is going to be about the topic of applying theory to modern-day public administration. We're going to go over public administration and some of the original theorists of public administration, including Woodrow Wilson and Frederick Taylor. And then we're going to talk about examples of these two theories in modern-day public administration. So let's go ahead and get started. So one of the main theories of public administration, and really the foundation of public administration, is classical theory. Woodrow Wilson is one of the proponents and the father of public administration, so to speak. The study of public administration was rooted in the fundamentals of his work called The Study of Public Administration in 1887. So we all have read this for class, and this is going to be obviously part of our exam coming up. So this is a very important theory to actually learn and get to know. And so this started the politics versus public administration dichotomy, and really the field of public administration as a legitimate discipline was founded on Woodrow Wilson's work. So Woodrow Wilson and then another theorist called Max Weber were known to establish what is known as this classical theory of public administration. Their theory really stresses that government should be like a business and run like a business in order to optimize efficiency and really create a top-down approach. So today, public administration may not necessarily follow the classical approach. It may be a little bit rarer, but some companies do adhere to the concepts in the form of merit-based promotions, some pragmatic approaches to bureaucracy, and non-political systems. So trained bureaucracy is superior to a lot of other types of administrations in many ways because it values efficiency, accuracy, and precision. So it's really important that some of the modern management practices that still use a classical approach really adhere to these principles. And you can see this in some companies that are still very much centered on things such as manufacturing and some of the technology companies. Another theory along those lines was founded by Frederick Taylor, and so not necessarily theory all in its own. It's similar to the theory of workings of Woodrow Wilson, but scientific management. So scientific management is founded by Frederick Taylor. His work on scientific management was out in 1912, and this one analyzes workflows and the clear division of responsibilities. It's centered on improving, economic efficiency, making sure that production and organization was very systematic. In fact, it really advocated for public administration to be a science. And the methodologies for management was equated to efficiency and really having a division of labor that coordinated with people's skill level and what they were skilled to do, and making sure that they worked as a team in order to divide the labor and make sure that people kind of stayed in their lane of what they were good at. Some of the practical applications for scientific management today can be seen in assembly lines, again back to manufacturing. Ford Motor Company still implements a lot of the scientific manufacturing management, of the days. And so both manufacturing of technology, Ford Motor Company, some of the big major companies as well, such as Google. We have big bureaucracies in the federal government, such as the EPA. All of these create a sort of systematic approach to organization. And so even if we're talking about the public sector, we have even some of these big organizations that really align specialized skills for that area and the people that are best suited for those jobs, and then they build teams around them and making sure that each person has ownership in their assigned duties and responsibilities. Another theory is very important for public administration is the postmodern theory. And so modern theory of public administration really centers on a little bit different of approach for the type of organizational efficiency. So whereas classical theory may have been more of a top-down approach, some modern theory does center on bottom-up approaches, which means that input is very much appreciated from people who are on the actual floor, the worker bees, so to speak, and then as a collective whole, they're able to work together, disseminate the information, and then work with management and bring it up to the top so that decisions are started from the people who are actually doing the work instead of the top-down traditional bureaucratic way. So very, very important to make sure that you get the distinction between the different types of theories, but both classical and postmodern are very important to learn for this presentation. I kind of went over just two of them here. So let's just go over in conclusion. You can kind of see we have EPA or maybe the police or fire. So some of the federal programs and the federal organizations, in part both a combination of perhaps classical theory or postmodern theory. And then most of the organizations in the federal government rely heavily on a bureaucratic organizational hierarchy still. Perhaps with that classical top-down approach, but with more and more organizations doing studies on how important it is to get a collaborative and team effort type of situation for our social culture in our organizations, and with technology being extremely important, it's important to learn about the postmodern theory as well and some of the collaborative decision making that's becoming more prevalent. So I hope that was a good little snippet of tutorial about public administration and the two theories and how they're applied in modern day practices. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.